Good morning to the people that are experiencing the morning right now. I hope you are having a good day, and if you're not having a good day, at least I hope you're safe right now. I just wanted to come on here and kind of just vent and see whoever relates to this. Hopefully, my message will get get out there to someone who needs it. But lately, I feel like I've been kind of, what's it called? Not progressing. I mean, like I've been progressing. I've been trying to learn, new habit or really tie down a habit I've been trying to learn and integrate for a long time, which is letting go of control, finding peace in the present moment, trusting the universe, not having the need to control everything every single second. And lately I've I noticed I've just been really hard on myself because I noticed that I'm starting to overthink again. I'm starting to be more anxious, and to me, and I look up, the reason why I look up is that's just how I think. So not trying to be rude or disrespectful if you find the lack of eye contact disrespectful, but I'm just thinking. um but for me, when for me, I have to consciously really put in the effort to build habits, create habits. And I know that may sound like, oh yeah, well, everybody does that. And I thought, I mean, yeah, everybody does it, but I didn't know that not everyone does it the way that I do it. Not because I want to, but because I have to. Um, and I guess it's because I have autism and I have ADHD. So, for example, even just thinking about it gets me exhausted. But, like, brushing my teeth, I have to do it 2 times a day. And I have to really consciously remember, like, brush your teeth. You have to brush your teeth. Because I'll get distracted by so many things. And, or drinking water. Drinking water is, I struggle really hard with that. Weird enough. Or funny enough. But, I wake up and I'm like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. It can be as little as, like, brushing my teeth, drinking water, to, like, okay, I have to work out today. I have to do homework, And, in that, I get lost and I forget. And it's the end of the day and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to drink water. And so, and because of that, it feels like I'm climbing up like a sand mountain, and it's like every climb that I do, my hands, my knees, my feet, they sink in, and I keep slipping, and it's like sometimes it's like the more I try, the more I struggle. And there's times where I have cried because it's just so, it can be very defeating and depleting at times. Because for myself, I I love improving myself, especially when it comes to the mind. You know, I love psychology. I love spirituality. I love, always trying to find ways to level up my mind. You know, whether it's through productivity or whether it's through, learning how to meditate and find peace in the present moment. So, yeah, but I've just been really hard on myself, but now that I know, I mean, I've always known that because I have autism and ADHD, the way I process things, it's going to be way different than with someone who doesn't have, you know, those neural development conditions, I think it's called. But yeah, I wanted to come on here and to be a reminder for myself as well that, if you're doing the absolute best that you can, that's more than enough. There's people that don't even try. They just don't even try. And I understand, there's some situations that you go through where you've tried with all your fucking might and then you're so depleted, you're so tired, and you let go. You just give up. And I understand that. I've been there. I've been there with my own life where I just, I didn't want to live anymore. And I just, try to find ways to get out. But sorry, I lost my train of thought. See, that's what I mean. Like, I have to really concentrate on what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to do. Where am I? Oh yeah, but it's important to us. It's important for us to have grace, and I know some of you probably heard me, but like, yeah, I fucking know. I'm like, because I have that same attitude. It's like, yes, I know. Be gentle on myself. But especially in this world where it's so demanding of your time, it's so demanding of your mental health, your peace. Sometimes it can be really fucking hard to be like, okay, you know what, I'm only human, I'm really struggling. I gotta be compassionate to myself, I gotta be more loving, I gotta try. And even that, even just reminding yourself that you have to be that, you gotta be graceful, you gotta be more patient with yourself, even that can be stressful, So, yeah, but I'm doing my best to take one moment at a time, and realizing that, all the growth that I've done these past years, hasn't gone away just because I have a slip up. I've had a slip up this past week or two. And I think that's also where I need to learn to give myself more love and grace when it comes to seeing these habits come up again where I forget or where I just want to rot and not do anything. There's this one thing that I said to myself this one point when I was, suicidal and I didn't want to live anymore and I was trying to learn how to get out of it. I said something like, being in that depressive state, being in that state where you just want to like rot, you just kind of want to give up. Like for me, what worked, and I'm gonna give an analogy because that's what I used for myself and it helped, was imagining like it's a bathtub. The thing that you're struggling with, the depression, the anger, the guilt, the sadness. Imagine that's the water. The water could be murky, it could be dark, it could be something terrifying to look at. But you gotta know that it's a part of the human experience, it's part of going through life, and it's not meant to be avoided, but it's also not meant to be it's not meant to take control of you either, which is another hard thing, which is another thing I want to talk about in the future. That we have to find that balance and learn how to dive into those emotions without it consuming us, or learn to recognize these emotions without getting kind of scared of them or being like, oh shit, if I tap into this, it's gonna take over, it's gonna ruin my life, so I have to avoid it, I have to run away, I can't face these feelings. And so at those times I've learned to just, pretend like you're just soaking yourself in a bathtub. You're feeling all the weight on you. You're feeling yourself be soaked in this. But you know that you have to get out eventually. And I think that's what I need to do for myself. And I'm getting a little emotional because because I've been so hard on myself, and also noticing that I've been analyzing my emotions and feeling them just a tad bit, thinking like, okay, well that's enough. But not actually really going in there and feeling them and just breathing through them. Because I've been afraid to feel anger and let it take control of me, and I start being destructive, verbally, physically, self-destructive even, because that's what I did in the past. But then again, I put so much work into myself, and I used to live in trauma. I used to live in fear, so much of it. I was a completely different person, but now, I know what the other side is like. I know what it is, and I got a taste of it. And because of that, I'm gripping onto it so tight, and I'm pulling on it every day so that can be more of my reality. To live in peace, not live in trauma. And it's possible, it really fucking is. And but sometimes looking back at the past, having these moments of mindsets or certain behaviors that used to be more extreme and consistent on a day-to-day basis, like 5 years ago, even a month ago, because I'm always like improving myself, so I noticed like I change a lot within a month, and I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't come off as like, oh, you're on the shirt, but it's I've created a lifelong habit of me just constantly always re-engineering my brain, um so it's kind of just automatic when it comes to that. But yeah, wait, what was I talking about? um hmm, oh yeah. But I I need to bring that back, that tub kind of analogy, metaphor, experience back, where I need to I need to give myself time to soak in these feelings and just breathe through them, feel through them, and then eventually get out. Also, my past selves, the people that I used to be in different ages, in different moments. When I was younger, like I had nothing. Like, I really didn't know my self-worth. I didn't know what it was like to be confident. I didn't know what it was like to feel comfortable in my own skin. I didn't know what it was like to not live in your own fears every day. And it blows my mind every time I think about it, but somehow this little girl that I once was, she somehow did it. She somehow, you know, got through each day, got through each moment when all she had, mostly, like 98% of the time, was fear, was sadness, was pain. And in the future I'll talk more about, my own traumas and what I went through. But, you know, what she went through, I'm just like, wow, how the fuck did you do that? Because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget the things I went through. How did I get myself through those situations? But I say this because it reminds me of, like, if she can fucking do it, if that little girl I once was able to do it, somehow able to push herself every second of the day, moment after moment, day after day, month after month. I forgot the week, but you get the idea. and now I'm in this place where I'm no longer in that constant state of fear, that constant state of pain, that trauma. Like, I can do it too, and it's so much easier. And I don't have to be hard on myself. Like, sure, I'm experiencing habits that I used to do, but I need to give myself some fucking grace. This being human, this shit isn't easy. Especially when you're trying to live constantly in a state of peace and love. Transitioning from living through trauma to peace and love, it takes fucking time. And deep down, a part of me, like, doesn't want to admit that. Like, there's a little bit inside of me that's like, no, I want to do it now. And a part of me admires that part of myself, because that part of me just pushes things through, and just kind of tears things open and takes risk, mentally, emotionally, physically. But then also I need to understand that I have this other side that needs a little bit more time, that needs grace, that needs patience. So I just want to come on here to kind of vent that. Maybe, hopefully, you know, maybe someone can relate to this, and you can share your experience in the comments. But how you deal with being hard on yourself. How do you deal with trying to live a life that you truly want to live, in the past, past habits, past emotions, past experience try to keep coming up and like grabbing you, pulling you back. How do you deal with that? Well, I would love to hear. So, yeah, comment down below. I would really appreciate it. And I'm laughing because like right now this is the first video I'm ever making. So if you're watching and you got something from it, like, thank you for just even watching. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'll see you, well, another time. Talk about something else. So yeah, peace.